Sure, go for it.
All right. So this is Kingdoms and Castles. I've had a few friends tell me this game is worth checking out. Brian Giammi told me, and also CloudCraftGames told me this, and he's actually going to be on the line with me. Isn't that right, CloudCraft?
No.
No, he's not. Never mind. So I've never played this game before. I started it up, and I could see that it's. Is it still in early access, CloudCraft?
I believe it's officially out, but it still feels like it's in early access, honestly.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't very much of a tutorial process to to pull me into the game and help me understand it, and so I started up real quick to see if I could just quickly figure it out, and it was going to be a little tougher. So I asked CloudCraft if he'd like to, since he's played a bunch of it, if he'd like to show me the ropes, basically.
Yeah, the poor tutorializing and incomplete information is one of my criticisms of the game. So I would just jump into a new game unless you've played a bunch, which I don't think you have.
I assume maybe Summer is what we want?
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
All right. And then I choose a land. How do I...
Yes. And so how much did you actually figure out?
Almost nothing. I think I just barely got a thing started, looked at it, was like, oh, I don't know what any of this is, and I quit because I have the patience of a small bat. So
you can change that if you want. It until you've played the game, you can't really get a sense of what's that looks good.
This looks good? Okay, great. And hey, Kirisu's just joined us, and Kirisu, we have a guest today. CloudCraft is going to be showing me the ropes. Name my kingdom Dragonstone? What? Who would name something that? Let's just call it CloudCraft. Because whatever. And what do you want our banner to be?
You're putting my name on your doomed kingdom?
Oh, it's doomed. That's true. No, I should call it Kirisu.
Perfect.
Yeah. So what color should we pick? Kirisu's name is green in my chat, so let's just go with green.
I go for the orange one just because it looks the coolest at the scale that it gets displayed.
Oh, that's interesting. That makes sense. Yeah, and besides, if I pick green, green or blue would kind of seem more like it's supposed to be me, right? Because I got the green hair. So orange looks like the opposite of me. So let's do that. I don't want to take any credit for this doomed kingdom.
All right. So first thing you want to do is actually zoom out a little bit.
Look at how the clouds disappear when I get close to them. That's adorable. So adorable.
Yes, it is.
Sorry.
Scroll out, and also if you hold down right click, you can rotate and change to the elevation of the camera.
You are like a walking tutorial.
You're going to want to go to the castle tab at the bottom.
Castle tab.
Those 4 tabs are where you do most of your building things, which is most of what you do in the game.
So right now I can only build the one thing.
Yeah, you need to start by building a keep. So, you can't move this after you place it. So what you want is, you'll notice how the ground has different colors. That determines how fertile it is.
Okay.
Which is important if you want to eat.
So do I want this on fertile ground or just near fertile ground, but not on it?
There are 3 things that you really want to be within close proximity to your keep, but not have your keep right next to or on top of. Okay. 1 is fertile ground, so the darker it is, the more fertile it is.
This stuff over here.
2 is at least 1 of those light gray stones, because that gives you stone to build castle stuff and most other things, and at least some trees.
Okay, so someplace like here might work because there's a big swath of fertile terrain over here, bunch of trees, and I'm next to a gray stone.
Yeah. Personally, I would not put it right there, but near there is good. Maybe on the other side of the stone where there's no fertile ground. Yeah. But one thing to keep in mind is buildings, when they're next to each other, block movement. So you want to have empty spaces.
And I assume that trees and rocks also block movement?
Trees don't block movement, but you can't build on them except if you're building the keep, I think.
Okay, so maybe I put it here because there's plenty of movable space around me.
Is there room on the other side of that stone to get past?
On this stone? I'm not sure what you mean.
basically just make sure it's not adjacent to anything. Make sure there's empty
so we want people to be able to move around the entire castle?
Yeah.
Okay, so someplace like this might be good then.
Yeah, that could work. In fact, that could also work well because you have natural barriers you can integrate walls into.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, let's pick that then. Check out, look, winter is coming. Ned Stark was right.
So I would pause for just a second.
Spacebar?
Just so that your people don't starve. So you'll notice that alert showing up on top of the castle. That is your advisors want to tell you something. Sometimes they're helpful. About 2/3 of the time, they're not helpful at all.
Good day, sire. Good day, sire. Yes. Excellent.
But so now there's three things you want to do right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to the town tab, and you want to build at least one section of road. But before that, you should determine where you want your first farm to be. And farm is in the food tab. Because the way that building works in this game is, depending on the building type, it has to be a certain distance at most away from your roads.
Okay. Away from the road. I assume it would have to be close to the road. But you're saying
it has to be close to the road. It has to be within X of the road, but X varies building by building.
Okay, so I'm probably going to try to build on the coast here, where it's more fertile, which doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense, but whatever. It's all salty.
I mean, that will get you more food. It will also make it more vulnerable to raiding, but it will get you more food. But yeah, so
so stick a road there.
Yeah, that outline just shows where you can build whatever you're currently building. I believe with farms, the distance is 3 tiles from a road is the max.
Okay.
So 2 roads should do it.
So just build a road there and a road there, and then I can build a bunch of farms.
Yeah, so you'll want 1 farm, and then you'll also want 1 house to start.
Okay. So I want to put the farms on the arable land, and then maybe the house like there? On the land that I don't want to farm?
I would put it on the other side so that you can build a road straight to the farm, because roads increase walk speed.
Okay, so like here would be good?
No, I meant the other side.
Oh, the side of the road.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
You do kind of find yourself in this game sectioning off, like, this is a residential area, this is an agricultural one, this is an industry area.
Okay, so there's no particular reason why the house needs to be close to the farm.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing you do want to be doing right now is you want to keep your stuff relatively compact, but you don't necessarily need to have everything next to everything.
Okay, so I can leave gaps and stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah, keeping it compact just helps you with defending it later on.
I got little people.
Also with efficiency.
I got 5 little people.
Yep.
They're so cute. So, do I need to try to end up with enough houses for all 5 of these people?
That house will house 5 people, exactly.
Oh, okay. So I really do only need 1 house right now, but eventually these people will breed, I imagine?
More. This is sort of a worker management game in the sense that you're always trying to balance how many people are working in different areas based on what you build. So if you click on the farm real quick,
yep,
you can see the food output and the modifiers for it.
Okay.
And your people, as they do jobs, will get skills, and once they become masters at a skill, it gives a bonus. But also notice how you've got that little check mark.
Uh-huh.
You can open and close buildings to stop people working in them.
So if I've got a particularly non-productive farm, like I could close it down so that people aren't wasting their time on that one and we'll go to the better ones?
Yes, or if you really need people on another job, you can temporarily close something down.
So can I, should I chop down some trees?
You should, definitely, because you're going to need wood. So your first priority, you're going to, in the near future, need a few more houses and farms. Mm-hmm. And ideally, you should put houses next to each other because they get a happiness boost from that.
Okay. So right now, I don't have enough wood.
Your next objective, though, is to get industry started.
Okay, what kind of industry are we talking about?
So go to the industry tab, two things. First, you want a quarry so you can start gaining stone, and then you're going to want a forester so you have a renewable source of wood.
So I'm going to be expending these forests?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
They do grow on their own over time, but it is very slow.
So should I have more guys chopping wood just so I can get there quicker?
You can. They're gonna be a bit slow because that's a bit far away and you've already got guys chopping, but yeah.
Okay.
Also, each house, by the way, has a person whose job it is to get food and other supplies the house needs and bring it there, and that's all they do.
Okay, so I shouldn't try to work all 5 of my workers. At least one of them is going to be a house manager, basically.
Well, 2 of your workers are occupied. One is the head of household there
and
doing
the
his job. The other is the farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So any place that you're going to want to do work or build, you want to build a road towards connecting it, both so that people can get there faster and so that you can build near it.
Okay, so like if I have a sense that eventually I'm going to want to be over there, like I should build some roads. Oh, crap. That is... Oh, I can't build there yet.
You can also build just directly... Yeah, so if you build this next one, now you can build there.
Okay.
I usually just ring my keep with roads.
That makes sense. What resource am I spending to place these roads, or is there no resource, just time?
Wood. The one thing they are good about is if you mouse over things, it will show you exactly what it costs to build, and the time is mostly spent just getting the resources there.
Waiting for wood. Okay, so I just chopped a bunch of wood, but then I also demanded a bunch of wood, so I need to chop more.
So yeah, your first priority, you probably want to build another house.
All right. So is that what's going to allow people to move in?
Yes, you can't have more people move in than you have houses.
Oh, okay. So it was kind of a special case right there when I had people and no houses. Or did I not even...
Well,
did the people not show up until I built the house?
They showed up when you built the keep.
Okay.
Because you need workers to build the house in the first place.
Got it. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. We have new construction, but no one available to build it. Perhaps we should temporarily close our other buildings. Okay, have I overworked them already?
I think it's just that you had a bunch of them chopping wood and building roads. Sometimes when that pops up, it's not really that important because they're about to finish stuff and then move on. Other times it is.
Oh, says my lord, 4 people visited, but none could find a home. So yeah, so I'm definitely losing out on some population growth here.
If you look in the bottom left corner, that's where you can actually see your population, how many you can support, and the happiness, which will affect how many actually want to stay.
Okay, so trending towards 76, average happiness. I guess that's, yeah, I assume that's out of 100?
Yeah, and if you click show, it will show you house by house the happiness of people within the house. And if you click on the house, you can see all the modifiers to their happiness.
Oh, holy crap. So there's a lot of information available here.
There's a lot, but there's actually not as much as there should be.
Not
on all buildings, but on some of the more advanced ones, they don't give you enough information.
So this farm, it said that it was making 10 food. Does that mean it's enough to food 10 people? Like I don't need to worry about 10 people as long as I've got this food output?
Honestly, it's not entirely clear to me how much someone consumes in a year.
So I might want a second farm?
Yeah, you might. Also, well, you do have a stockpile built up. If you look in the bottom, that lists all your resources, you've got 33 here? Out of 50 you can store. Yes.
Okay. So I keep building stuff, and so I keep not having enough wood to build my quarry. So
yeah, so now I would say you want to focus on getting that quarry up, and probably one more house because the quarry takes 4 people.
Oh, okay. Well, I can build the house kind of now. Oh wait, let me.
Then just go for it, I would say.
Yeah, somebody can be my little caveman can live in the
want
rocks.
Houses to have at least one neighboring house, by the way, but you don't need to the moment you build them.
Okay, so yeah, so this is my another spot for a house.
A lot of the stuff you do in this game around the planning is based on increasing happiness.
Gotcha.
It's happiness.
That's a good focus for a leader to have. I appreciate that.
I mean, you don't have to maximize happiness. You just want to keep it high enough, really.
Gotcha.
Unless you want more people, then you want to increase your happiness.
Gotcha. By the way, Dan31 joined us, so I'm saying hi to Dan31. And glad you could make it. He's excited to see that you're here, too.
Hi again, Dan. Also, I would advise building the road so that it's right next to the farms whenever you can, just because that will increase the efficiency of carrying stuff from the farm.
I wonder if I should just demolish this and... Oh, can I not do that? Oh,
you should be able to do
that.
There
we go.
I think you just misclicked.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, there's that. Yeah, I keep using wood. Why am I doing that?
I would zoom out, by the way, and locate some more areas with fertile ground, because that's not very much, and big chunks are generally better than little edge bits.
So I want to go over here or over here. Those are the biggest chunks that are nearby.
That upper area is probably going to be your main farming place as you expand, I think.
Especially if I want to build a quarry by the rock and, just expand in that direction.
Yeah. A 9x9 area of fertile ground is really good to have, because there's a building that can increase the productivity of every farm around it.
You mean like a 3x3, a 9 tile?
Yeah, although if the center one's barren, it doesn't matter, because that's where you're putting the windmill.
That's where you put the building? Gotcha. Okay, so I've got 15. So let's build a quarry. Do I need to build it on top of? No, just near it?
No, next to. And each deposit of stone can only support 2 quarries, by the way.
Okay.
So I would put one there, and then when you want to build another one, put one on the opposite side. So you can build
so get a road right through?
Also, I would build a road all the way up to the quarry, because the stone's going to need to be taken from the quarry to your keep.
Then I will need to chop some more wood. I've got 13 people now. Holy crap.
I don't think you need to chop anymore, because
you're
still chopping some.
Oh, am I?
Although, actually, you will, because you'll need some to actually build the forester.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. That I'm actually probably pretty far behind on my wood needs. How much is the forester?
Your food, by the way.
15. Oh, and some stone. It's weird to have the forester. I always think of, in other games, the quarry is a more advanced building, and the forester is one of your first buildings. But in this game, I need the quarry
really
first.
Weird. Hover over your food real quick. See if it's going positive or negative right now.
+2 total change last year. 16 food from farms. 14 eaten by homes. So
you might want to make another farm.
I don't have a lot of flexibility there.
Farms do not cost that much wood.
All right. Do that.
Yeah, one more should do you for now. And as your guys become master workers, they'll start producing significantly more.
All right.
That should definitely be enough to feed that many people. So, click on your quarry real quick. I want to make sure that you have all of the people you need working it. Good.
Looks like, I got 4 out of 4 workers.
Yeah, so that'll give you about 12 stone per year.
Okay, so once this gets up to, was it 4 or 5, then I should have enough for the forester?
I think it's 5 for a forester. Yeah. And then you need 15 wood. Don't build the stockpile yet. That's going to become important, but not quite yet.
Food stores are running low. Working on it, buddy.
Also, do note you can speed up the game if desired.
Oh, that's right. That is how I tend to play. I'm kind of like Brian Giammi. He talks about that too. That he's like, basically he plays at top speed then pauses. Top speed then pauses. When I'm brand new to a game, I usually kind of let it run at its natural speed, just so I can just sort of chill a little bit and see what I'm doing.
So once you have, I'd say, 2 quarries and 2 foresters, then you'll be at the point where one thing to note, by the way, on foresters,
yeah.
you can't place foresters within the foresting range of each other. So their ranges can overlap a little bit, but they can't be within each other's ranges.
Gotcha.
And also, they will plant trees on every tile within their range that doesn't have a building on it. And that can get really annoying if you want to do building there. Because you'll have to wait for somebody to chop the trees down and then get a building there before they replant it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I usually put the foresters either in out-of-the-way areas or areas that are already developed so that I don't have to worry about that.
So I'll put this here.
Actually, I wouldn't put that there because you might want that fertile ground for farming soon.
Okay.
I would actually put it maybe to the... I don't know the.
I figured my farming was going to be mostly over here. Does fertility affect the trees in a way that I care about?
I think it affects natural tree growth, but it's not clear whether or not it affects forester planting. This is one of those smaller things that they just don't tell you, and it's not. You can't really observe it that well.
Well, here, so I'll pull it. Let's see here. Another option would be to build it over here.
Yeah, over there is where I would personally build it.
Well, let's go for that then.
Yes. Also, do note you can rotate buildings with R.
And I saw that, yeah.
With houses and a few other buildings, this can matter for efficiency.
All right, so
but
this
most of the time it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's a good spot.
I can't even tell which side is forward anyway.
I'm not actually sure, honestly. I've tried to figure it out. But
maybe it's just aesthetic. Maybe it really doesn't matter.
Now, because that forester is actually a fair distance from your keep, you may actually want to put a stockpile nearby in the near future.
Okay.
Before that, though, I would recommend throwing down a well and making sure that well
Throwing who down a well? Sorry, go ahead. You don't have to laugh. It's fine. So 5 wood, 10 stone, which I've got. So.
Yeah. So the well does two things. Oh, by the way, there's a dragon.
Oh, what? Hello. What? Do I care about this? Is this a worry?
Why would you care about a dragon? Also, another complaint I have: the alerts for something attacking are really hard to notice when you're in the middle of something.
Is he gonna hurt me?
Why don't you ask your advisors?
Our peasants worry about food for the winter. Peasants are very happy. We can tax them with a treasure room. So no, they don't seem to care.
The dragon.
We've got a small village. Kirasu, you're now a small village.
So the dragon is scripted, but next time you see a dragon, it will burn things.
Okay, so I just gotta be. I don't know. I don't know how to prepare for that.
That's basically that. 1 sec.
All right.
That's your alert that things can attack you. So, and then your military advisor pops up advising you to build defenses. So basically, until you get late into the game, you have one main way of defending yourself, and it's all in the castle tab. I wouldn't do this right now, but you start by building castle blocks, and you can stack them on top of each other to build a tower. And then on top of that tower, you want to put an archer tower.
That makes sense.
But before you can get an archer tower, you need a treasury, which costs 50 stone.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, yeah, I would put that stockpile as close to both the quarry and the forester as you can without getting in the way of any potential roads.
Like this spot?
That might work, or on the other side so that you can build a road past there.
Oh, if I want to. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, and that will both give you more storage space and make people travel less distance, but it does take 2 people to man it, so keep that in mind. So the well will decrease the chance of any fires in its radius. Okay. And if there is a fire, people can get water from it to put it out.
This seems like a good spot.
It also increases the happiness of all houses that it covers.
This seems like a good place.
That is actually the perfect spot.
Yay! It's almost like I planned it that way, which would be ridiculous.
Yes. So your next goal should be to aim for one more quarry and one more forester without, of course, people starving or anything like that.
Okay, so I'll need some more wood. Do people ever just chop wood on their own? Like, is that part of what the forester does?
That's what the forester does.
Okay, so I can accelerate it if I want to tell people to go chop stuff.
I would actually not be manually chopping anything that's within a forester's radius unless you just want it removed.
Oh, okay.
Or you really need wood, because the forester will handle that on their own. And it's a nice constant stream of wood. So basically your next goal right now is you want to get those 2 foresters and 2 quarries, and then get a treasury so you can start taxing people, and then you want to build a couple towers with archer spots on them.
So they can take out that dragon when it comes.
Or the Viking raiders.
Of course, Vikings.
In fact, the Viking raiders are the thing you're going to encounter first.
Oh, okay.
And also, you'll notice if you mouse over things in the build menu, they will tell you some information about them. They just won't tell you all of the stats. But another thing to note is you do have another... I would always put houses on roads, by the way, because they get a happiness boost from it. And if you don't put them on roads, they get a penalty.
There we go.
That house may be facing the other house, though, because it...
Oh, because I placed it with no roads?
Yeah, it auto-snaps to the road if you're not rotating it manually, but if there's no road, then it doesn't always auto-snap.
There we go. Hopefully that didn't cost me too much in wastage.
And I do recommend checking what your advisors say whenever that thing pops up, because...
Oh, no, they're starving. Oh, they are starving. Wait, no, that's my money. Now we're fine.
You're only at +1 per year, though, but you are building another farm. Also, in food, note that there are other ways to produce food. You also have orchards, which are not as space efficient, but they are, I believe, more worker efficient, and they also can't flood while farms can.
Oh, okay.
And a flooded farm basically just won't produce any food for that year.
Oh, well, that sounds like it would suck.
Yeah, so once you get a lot of farming going, typically you'll have several farms flooded every year.
That's just a matter of course.
Yeah. Also, eventually I would actually get rid of most of the farms around there and move to the upper section, but not just yet.
All right, so yeah, so I'm saving up for a new forester, which I'll put somewhere. Should I just put him even deeper over here, or?
You can if you want, or you can put them somewhere else. I would put them somewhat near the stockpile. You also do want to start foresters where there are already a few trees. I believe they'll plant on their own if there aren't, but you want to start them near some.
Well, let me demolish these guys. I'll say, do I not get any wood back from that? Maybe I don't.
You do get materials back, but I don't believe the full cost. So nothing from the road.
Yeah, roads are cheap enough that, yeah.
Yeah, so
I might put another one over here or something.
Basic defenses, your next thing will be getting charcoal. Charcoal it serves 2 main purposes. One is that homes use it and it makes them happier, but the other is it's something you're going to need for pretty much every bit of industry that we haven't built at this point.
It is kind of like when you read about stuff like how important charcoal is to like human civilization. Like I read this book called The Knowledge when we were preparing for State of Decay 2, and it was just incredible. Like between just needing hot fires to do things, which charcoal provides, and also just having to be so many byproducts from the charcoal making process, it was just ridiculous. Yep. how just critical charcoal. Wait, what?
Oh, look, your cape's on fire.
Why is my castle on fire?
Why having a well is good. I don't know why your castle's on fire. By the way, your advisors have something to say.
Maybe we're on fire?
People are trying to put it out.
Okay, they're still complaining about starving. I haven't finished building this farm yet.
Check the farm that's near the bottom that doesn't appear to be growing anything. See if anybody's actually working it. Nobody is working it. So you have two options.
Could that be because everybody's putting the fire out?
Also, notice how not all your houses are filled. I don't believe that it will list it as not being worked just because people are putting the fire out. Those people are still farmers. They're just prioritizing something else.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, you don't have all
there we go. Somebody's working it now.
You can support. So that's why. You always want to keep a little surplus of people, by the way, so that you always have builders.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you build anything new right now, I would build either something that doesn't need anybody to man it, which you can't, there aren't that many things, or a house.
Well, I could build a forester now. Looks like I've got, but that does require.
I would actually wait on that because you don't have enough people to really make use of it. Although you do have enough stone now for a treasury. So go to the castle tab. Check if you can build a treasury.
Let's do it.
I believe that employs 1 or 2 people, but that's not a big deal. You want to put that in a secure location, though, because if that burns, you lose all your gold and all of your defenses basically stop working.
Do I need to have... It looks like I don't need to have it be particularly connected to roads, though.
No, although if you put it there, you can't build a road there, which would slow people down, possibly.
Oh, that's true. Let me build out my roads a little bit. You said you basically ring your castle with them most of the time, right?
Usually. Sometimes I'll have, like, one side that is... The road is a little ways out and there's buildings next to it.
Okay.
But yeah, you want your keep... I would put your keep close to your castle in a place that looks fairly easy to defend.
Okay, so I've got room here, so I could build like my walls and towers like right around it if I wanted to.
Yes. I would also, by the way, for your next food production thing, I would build an orchard in case you get a year where a lot of farms flood.
Okay.
In fact, I would remove a road and a farm in order to get an orchard because it needs a 4x4 area.
Oh.
Or 2x2. Not 4x4.
Okay, well, since I've got 15 wood, people are still starving. Man, peasants need to calm down.
Yeah, I think they just stopped starving. But mouse over your food and see if it's... Yeah, it's still positive. It's not very positive, but it is positive.
It's kind of positive. So are the orchards... Are they pretty responsive to the fertility of the ground too?
They're not as responsive as farms are. They do get a bonus from it, but the per area additional food you'll get is not as high.
Oh, interesting.
So orchards are good for less fertile ground. But right there is a good spot for an orchard.
Right there, you mean over here, or were you talking about like over here?
Well, the first spot you looked at has no fertile ground on it.
Right.
That's you still need fertile ground. It's just you don't. Very fertile ground is less useful on orchards than it is on farms.
Gotcha.
And with farms, starving? It's really good if you can get that 3x3 area.
Okay, so orchard. So I could put it there.
Yes, that's where I was talking about.
Okay, cool.
And you may eventually want to get rid of one of those farms so you can build a road all the way around.
Yeah, I can see that.
For now.
Let me find a good spot.
Yeah, this is... See, now it's raining. I will bet you have some flood farms.
I'll be glad I have that orchard then.
Yeah, and I would definitely get another forester up so that you can get a nice continual influx of wood.
Yeah, right now, yeah, I'm just thinking I'll chop down some trees so that I can plant a forester again.
Yeah. Something you should do regularly, though, is click on all your buildings and make sure everything is being worked. because if it's not, that's an indication usually that you don't have enough people to work everything, and you should either build more houses or pause some things.
Gotcha.
Like, for instance, if you really want more people working on construction or something, you might want to pause one of your quarries right now because you've got 44 stone.
Okay, gotcha. So it looks like they just harvested a bunch of food. Okay, they just barely carried it back. I was about to say, it doesn't look like I have a bunch of food, but yeah, they just carried it back. So now I do have some food.
Also, if your food is not close enough to a place it can get stored, it'll go bad because they can't carry all of it at once.
So they can store things in the keep, right? And they can also store things here?
Yes. The keep has a limited amount of storage, though, so eventually you will need to actually build a granary, which you'd want anyway because it will let you put farms farther out. So yeah, keep the tax rate at 1. It can go from 1 to 3, and for every 1 you increase it by, you get minus 12 happiness.
Looks like, oh yeah, my happiness has dropped significantly.
But you want
part of it's a recent
gathering
food shortage.
Taxes.
Okay, so now that
happiness is fairly simple.
Got the orchard going, so its food output is 30, which is the same as 3 farms. So yeah, I can see, it's not quite as efficient.
So yeah, I would get another forester up. You have the wood now.
Okay, cool. Well,
Just
I suddenly have the wood.
You've got enough people working things. I think what happened is your forester didn't have the full area that it could take advantage of until just now after replanting a bunch of trees.
Oh, gotcha. So I'll put that there. Build a road to it.
I would actually build a road on the other side because of where the stockpile is.
I can see that. Except, except it can't go here.
If you manually chop that tree down, then you could build there.
All right. And probably this one too.
Yes.
In which case, maybe demolish those. And
so now that you've got taxation going, you probably want to figure out where you want your first tower, your first defensive tower to go.
Yeah.
And just start building castle blocks. And you want to, the higher the tower is, the greater the range of the archers on top of it will be.
Okay.
But without any adjacent castle blocks, you can only build it up to 3 high, which is 45 stone. So I would put this first one close to your farms and your keep and all those houses, because those are one of your main things you want to defend.
Like here or like here?
The first place you put it is good. Also, there's also that little nook next to the orchard by the stone. That would also be a good spot to do it.
We could do
But actually,
both.
I think there is also a good spot, and then you'll want one more to cover your industry as well. But before you actually put any towers on top of them, you'll want to build them up to 3 high.
Right. So let me I'm trying to build out this. My fortress is planting trees faster than I can keep up with them. Faster than I can chop them down to build the road. So, okay, yeah. So they're building.
Oh, looking at the time, we may actually want to do another one of this.
Another session, so that we can actually get further in the game. Yeah, we can probably pull that off.
Further than we did, but maybe that was a poor estimate.
Yeah, this is one of those kinds of games where it's like kind of the point of it is for you to sort of slowly watch something grow. It's like a nurturing game, but that means that sort of the amount of events per hour is going to be pretty low.
So what year is it, by the way? I don't remember where the year is displayed. I can't
13
see it.
It looks like right here.
Okay, so we've still probably got a few years before your first raid then. So we've got time to build up those defenses. But what I
am running out of food.
What you'll want to do is build a tower up to 3, put an archer tower on it, and then do that again for each one for right now. I would not try to build food over there. I would actually save that for housing or for industry.
Okay.
And actually, I'd get rid of the one farm that's right next to your keep so you can build roads.
I feel like I'm too low on food right now, though, so I think I need to build more farms before
hover over your food and see what your per year is currently.
It was 2 last year.
Okay.
So it's probably fine once we harvest.
You'll probably want to move food production up to the top soon, where you can set up a windmill and really profit from it. Because a windmill, I think, gives either +2 or +3 to every farm, and when you have 8 farms all around it, that adds up to quite a bit.
So it's adjacent. This is the one that does adjacent farms?
Yes. And it only takes one worker like the farms, so for the cost of one farm's worth of space and worker, you get a lot more food.
So
it's actually even more useful if you're not building farms on really fertile ground, but it's still useful if they're fertile.
So I guess, does the windmill need a road right to it?
It doesn't need one right next to it, but it needs one nearby, like the farms. You'll want a road actually 2 spaces away so that you can put farms all around it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
And then you're going to need a granary too.
Is that basically...
I would also... Yeah. That's both for distance and because soon you're going to be wanting more storage space. Also, again, check whatever your advisors say when they say it, up until you get to the point where they're constantly saying the same things and it's useless. But just keep in mind, pretty much every single building needs at least one person manning it, if not more. And I would not put that there. I would demolish that. Because A, it's too big, B, it's not in a good spot, and C, it's right next to your keep, which can store food.
Oh, so it's redundant? Okay, gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Yes. You're going to want to start with the smaller granary anyway.
All right.
And then
I didn't realize there was a smaller one. Oh, look, there's a small one.
Yes. And the baker there is one of the things that uses charcoal. It basically just turns some food into more food. But I'm not really sure if it's worth it, except in very specific circumstances, because it's not really that efficient at anything.
So maybe I need more houses, because the stuff I've been telling people to chop is just not getting chopped.
Yeah, you will need more houses. And if you go into your town tab, note that there's 2 other types of house, and those are less resource efficient, and people will be a little less happy, but they're more space efficient, which matters.
Okay, let me...
But keep in mind, you still want them to have neighbors and to have their entrances be on roads.
Yeah, the question is, I'm not exactly sure where their entrance is.
You can actually see the door on the houses if you move your view.
Oh my gosh!
Right click.
So right there. So this thing has a big front facing.
Yes.
Okay.
I would not put it there though, because that's going to block if you want to put a road in between.
Yeah.
Also, as you progress, usually what you'll want to do is, after you finish expanding for a bit, you'll want to delete some of the basic houses and replace them with more advanced houses.
Gotcha.
I would not put it on that side, because good luck putting neighbors there.
Oh, right. So maybe here?
Yes. But if you do replace houses, make sure that the people you're replacing the houses for have other houses they can use first. Otherwise, you get big happiness hit.
I can imagine. All right. So.
Okay, so I'm noticing something. Notice how that tower you started building a while ago is still
never getting.
Yeah, there's only one builder on it. Most of your people are not building stuff. So I would actually go to your quarries and pause them, because you have a lot of stone built up and you can't efficiently use it.
Okay.
Now, the downside of this is that sometimes you based on like just the chances of people getting rearranged, you won't necessarily get your master workers back on those quarries, but you'll be able to actually have people working.
Oh.
I would also not make any more constructions for right now. You should wait at least till those houses get built.
All right.
Because then you can get more people coming in to do more constructing.
That makes sense.
This is a good time to actually speed it up a bit.
All right, so. Okay, anyway.
Oh, also, so in case you haven't noticed, you can also click on the ground and see like if it's fertile, in addition to clicking on like any building and deconstructing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, they really I love how that outline around the ground looks, but there's a problem with it.
What's that?
It's that it's not drawn on top of anything. So when you
so we can hide behind stuff?
Area, yeah. So if you select a building, you'll notice the selection for the building is the same one as for the ground. So the building itself, if it's a big building, can actually cover it a bit, and then the buildings around it cover it more.
That makes sense.
Which is really not good.
Well, it looks like I've caught up on the food front. I actually filled my hypothetical granaries.
Yeah, check your advisors. I'll bet one of them tells you that you should build a granary to store food.
We grow more food than we can store. We need a town square for festivals.
So the town square is mainly not for festivals. It's mainly one of the first buildings you build that has a happiness bonus to all of the houses around it. But you can spend gold to have festivals, which will increase happiness and dramatically increase the number of people who visit that year in case you want to get a big influx of people.
That makes sense. Ooh, I can build a road. Now I just need to chop this wood. Trying to stay on top of all this wood chopping is...
Yeah.
I guess I could disable a forester if I wanted to, but...
Yeah. You unfortunately can't just disable planting. As long as they have max people at the forester, they'll always plant. So I would... Oh, you slowed it down already. So now I would keep building up those castles to 3 and then cap them off with archer towers. And once the archer towers, you can actually build the archer tower on top before you've actually built the castle, before the castle has built all the way.
Okay.
So you can queue up a bunch of castle blocks on top of each other and an archer on top of that. And you can actually see the range the archer will have.
Oh, okay. So I can, like that, for instance.
Yes.
Cool.
And you really want that range to not just cover, but extend a little ways out from all of the important buildings.
So I can shoot things before they get to me?
Yes. Also, I would check whether or not that well is still covering all of your houses.
Probably not. Yeah, I've got these guys over here.
I would put another one down there. It's useful to have wells covering everything to prevent fires, but at the very least, you want them covering all the houses.
That makes sense.
Because if something's on the coast, then your guys can just grab water from the coast to put it out.
That makes sense. Ooh, I can build another road. Road.
Also, in terms of charcoal...
Oh yeah, charcoal.
There's a really easy metric for determining when you want to do charcoal. You just look at your wood stores, and if you are constantly producing more wood than you're using, then it's a good time to make charcoal.
Gotcha.
You'll probably want another forester before you start doing it.
Okay.
But then charcoal will unlock doing the bakery, doing the blacksmith, which lets you do tools or weapons, as well as a few other things. And it will make everyone happier. Assuming you make enough for everyone to use.
Okay, looks like I'm running out of stone, so I should reopen my quarries.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot, as you get into the mid and late game, of pause and unpausing things. Like, for now, you'll probably want to pause all of your archer towers until you actually get attacked, at which point you'll want to unpause the archer towers and pause other things so that people go man the archer towers.
That makes sense.
Okay. Especially since the archers actually have to be paid in gold.
Dang. Come on, finish with this one. Finish chopping down this tree. There we go. So I'm building my spot for my windmill over here.
I would stop building roads.
Yeah, right there. So the windmill goes here. Farms go all around it.
Yep. And you'll need a granary, like,
real close?
Very close by and, like, on the road.
Okay, whenever I've got enough stone.
You will find, probably putting the windmill there, that you do have some people not gain the food back in time, because it's just the one farmer who has to carry back all the food from their farm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see a bit of how these fairly simple mechanics, and this is what I like about the game, make for some very interesting decisions in how you lay things out.
Yeah, it's interesting how many times like I've been like about to sort of arbitrarily place a building, and you're like, actually, wait, here's a reason why that might not be the best spot. And for any given building, it seems like there's multiple factors like that you have to consider. Like you said with the houses,
yes.
They need to be, you want them to be close to a road, you want them to be protected by a well, you want them to, have. And you want them to be next to each other so they can be happier.
If you click on the house, you can actually see most of those things. You can see both the things that they want and also any additional bonuses or penalties they've got.
So this has no what? I can't tell what that is.
No charcoal. If you mouse over the icons on the bottom, that will, I believe there's on the bottom of the house tab, I meant.
Oh, gotcha.
Or the house
layout. Over here.
Yeah, that charcoal will actually tell you, as well as the happiness bonus. And I believe the bigger houses want a few more things, which results in them being slightly less happy. Although not right now, apparently.
Okay, so over here, I was gonna. Okay, oh wait, I don't have enough. I left my stone off a little bit too long.
As a general rule, first build the farms, then build the granary, then build the windmill.
Okay. So there's...
check your food input, by the way, and see if it's positive or negative. There's some interface issues.
+2.
Okay, it's still
12.
positive, and you lost 9 to exposure. It's important not just to look at whether it's positive or negative, but also
like where it went.
Yeah, I actually wish that gave you those layouts for stone and for wood too.
So should I put it super close, or should I put like between?
You don't have to put it next to them, but I wouldn't put more than like 3 roads away.
Okay.
And make sure the entrance to it is on the road. The entrance is on the end of the building.
Okay.
You're going to want to place the granary such that it's going to be useful for later farms as well. So note where the fertile ground is and place it near those as well.
Okay.
But ideally not on.
So yeah, so there's more fertile ground over here. So having it like near this intersection, for instance, might be a good idea.
Yep.
So chop that. I'm gonna chop the crap out of everything.
Oh wow, nobody has said anything in the chat.
There we go. So place that granary.
Yeah, that may actually be a bit too far for the further away farms.
Okay.
For the ones that are going to be in the back, that's probably going to be too far. For now, you can keep it there and you can demolish it later.
All right. And then
I believe also 6 farms is the threshold normally of depending on whether the ground is fertile and whether the workers are. I would not put a house there because good luck gain it, neighbors, and it's going to be in the way of places you could farm.
I was thinking it was put a house here and then a house against its back.
You could do that. Personally, I find it's generally more efficient to. There doesn't have to be a strict dividing line, but to not have your industry overlapping your food or housing, or your housing overlapping your food or industry.
How come?
Because for efficiency of both layout and movement. Because if you, for instance, were to swap the positions of the house and granary, assuming you don't want to use the land there for anything else, there's going to be more fertile ground that the granary is close to. And also, the workers who are using that granary will get there faster.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I think I'm not gonna change it right in a second, but yeah, I'll keep that in mind. So I'm gonna boom right there, windmill.
Yep.
And I think we're out of time, actually. So I feel seriously, like having you walk me through this was so much easier than trying to just sort of figure it out for myself. So thank you for spending the time.
Before we leave, pause your archer towers.
Oh.
Because they're taking up 2 people and you have to pay them.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. But yeah, save this game and we can come back to it another time and get into the mid and late game.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for the tour, and yeah, I guess we'll now that we've saved, we will quit.
Yep.
Save and quit.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
See you.
And that's where I'll end the YouTube video.